All right. Is everybody ready? Can everybody hear me all right?
We're all good, sir.
Okay. Good morning. I'm here to brief you on an incident that occurred this morning. Before I get started, I want to introduce a few of the people that are here. I have Ms. Sylvia Hardman from the Office of Police Oversight, who is the acting director right now of that office, as well as Mr. Basil Ali from our city legal department, and members of my executive team are here as well. I'm going to brief you this morning on an officer-involved incident, an officer-involved shooting that occurred. I'll be talking about it in the terms of last night, as we're here at 1:30 in the morning. This occurred just a few hours ago, but it did occur technically last night. I want to remind everyone as you take note of this incident that all the information I'm putting out right now is preliminary, and it's just based on the things that I know at this point. The investigation, obviously very early in the investigation, and more information will be forthcoming. At 9:26 p.m. last night, APD received a 911 call coming from an apartment complex in the 8900 block of North Lamar. The caller described a subject, a black male wearing a ski mask or some kind of covering over his face that had just pointed a weapon at the caller. The caller remained on the line with police for a while as officers were responding out here. And at 9:34 p.m., the first officers began arriving on scene. By this time, the individual had left the scene, was last seen headed northbound, and the caller did continue to provide information and talk to the police, and officers began canvassing the area looking for the individual. At 10:04 p.m., an individual matching the description that was given by the caller was located in a restaurant in the 9200 block of North Lamar. Officers, using caution, began observing the subject to see if this was in fact the same person or not. They did not know at that time whether it was or not, but within a few moments determined that it was the correct individual, and they did observe that this individual had a handgun. Within moments, they began attempting to have the subject, who was in an area of the restaurant, go ahead and exit the restaurant to come out and speak with officers. They were given verbal commands, as well as trying to engage a subject, and even went so far as to use the public address system that is on the police vehicle. It's amplified to make sure that the individual could hear the officers and that they were trying to get him to come out of the restaurant. However, the individual did not comply with those commands. Officers also attempted to make notification to people that were in this restaurant. There were many patrons in the restaurant. They were concerned for their safety, and were trying to get them to be able to evacuate that restaurant and evacuate the area. But at this point, it appeared that the subject may be attempting to barricade himself in the restaurant. As officers continued again to de-escalate and to try to engage the subject, talk to the subject, and have him come out, officers heard at 10:19 p.m. several gunshots coming from the inside of the restaurant. At that time, they immediately went into rescue mode, entered the restaurant to make contact with the subject in order to prevent any harm from coming to the patrons of that restaurant. As officers made entry into the restaurant, multiple officers did fire their department duty weapons. The subject was struck, and the subject went down. The officers were able to quickly get the weapon. They did see a weapon. They quickly got it away from the subject and immediately began life-saving measures. Were able to get EMS into the scene, and EMS did transport him from the scene to a local hospital where he remains in critical condition. No other persons, either civilian or officer, were injured during this incident. There were a total of 5 APD officers that fired their duty weapons. Per our policy, all will be placed on administrative duty pending the outcome of the investigations that will occur. There are also multiple video sources that capture this incident, including officers' body-worn cameras. These are currently being reviewed and per APD policy will be released to the public within 10 working days. As has happened on previous officer-involved shootings, there will be 2 concurrent investigations that occur. A criminal investigation will take place. It will be led by APD's Special Investigations Unit in conjunction with the Travis County District Attorney's Office, as well as an administrative investigation that's conducted by our Internal Affairs Unit with oversight from the Office of Police Oversight. At this time, that's pretty much as I can release about this incident. If there are questions that I can clarify any of that information, I'll take a few questions.
Chief, do you know the name of the apartment complex and the restaurant?
No, sir, I don't offhand know the name of either one of those. All right, if there are no questions, thank you all for coming this morning.